Hey, I'm filmmaker Nick Frangioni and creator of Stories Language, the screenwriting technique. Let's jump into some of my bite-sized insights. We're going to be talking about, real brief here, sparsely writing or writing sparsely, which is something that every screenwriting book tells us to do. We want to be writing sparsely, right? We're not writing novels, we're writing screenplays, but writing sparsely actually ends up being a really difficult thing to do for some reason. And that reason is because we're not just writing sparsely. What we're actually doing is economizing drama. So I want you to think about the work that you're doing when you write a script, not as writing sparsely, but as an economization of a lot of drama. So to give you an example of this, this is the opening scene in Interstellar, Christopher Nolan's Interstellar, right? Classic, huge movie. And this is how it begins. And, typically screenwriters feel like, oh my God, I got to introduce all this information, got to give you a bunch of backstory, got to set you up. None of that really exists here, not at least in the way that we think, right? It exists, but it exists in an economized way, an economized fashion. So let me just read this to you. So we have interior cockpit. A young pilot fights his buffeting craft. The radio, someone over the radio says, computer says you're too high or too tight. Pilot says, I got this. The pilot grabs a panic glance at his instruments, crossing the strait, shutting it down. Cooper shutting it all down. Pilot says, no, I need to power up. Um, so this is incredibly sparse, right? But it's economizing a high power impact of drama. And I want to break this down how it does this. The first thing that we're talking about is interior cockpit. This is the most dramatic place that this scene can take place per hero agency. So if you work with me in stories language, hero agency is what I talk about in terms of a hero needs to have hero agency, especially in the studio world. Hero agency is based off of the idea of an agent noun. An agent noun just gives a person the ability to perform the action, some sort of action. So, in Cooper's case, in Interstellar, he's an explorer, right? An agent noun is typically ending in an ER and OR. A performer can perform, an inventor can invent, an explorer can explore. Cooper is an explorer. That's his agency. And he does it by way of being a pilot. He pilots these crafts. He pilots the spacecraft, right? Right now, he's piloting a jet. So we're going right into his agency. So we have the hero agency. First, a young pilot fights his buffeting craft. So we have immediate hero agency in action tension. Action tension is fighting his buffeting craft. Hero agency is a young pilot. So where do we put a young pilot? We put him in a cockpit. He's flying a plane. We don't see him in the airport. We don't see him getting ready to fly a plane. We see him in the plane, flying it. Not only that, we see him in action tension. He's fighting the buffeting craft. So we are getting a high power impact of agency, action tension immediately in an incredibly sparse, economized sentence. There's so much that we understand about this person just from this tiny little bit of information. Immediate hero agency in action tension, and we're able to do this because we put them in the most dramatic place per their hero agency. Where can this explorer be? Where can this pilot be? We'll put him in a cockpit. The next action line, the pilot grabs a panic glance at his instruments. Again, we furthered the hero agency. It's the pilot. We're telling you again that it's the pilot. Screenwriters do this all the time, and I tell screenwriters this. You can't just say something once and have people get it. If you just say that he's a pilot one time, we're going to forget. People aren't careful when they read scripts. So we repeat. The pilot grabs a panic glance at his instruments. Again, we furthered that hero agency and we put it in action. So we're talking about economized drama. This is by placing a hero in their most dramatic location per their hero agency and by putting that hero agency in action tension. What Nolan is doing is focusing the reader attention to the pilot situation, nothing else. We're not worried about anything else. We're not trying to set up anything else, right? We're trying to put this hero agency in action tension. So I want you to think about that. When you start your script, whenever you're writing your script, especially when you want to write sparsely and follow that logic of writing sparsely, hero agency plus action tension, nothing else. If we look at the dialogue Again, same thing, interior cockpit. This is the dialogue of the scene. Um, we have this interaction. Computer says you're too tight. Pilot, which of course is Cooper, says, I got this. Also, by the way, I just want to mention, we're not calling him Cooper, we're calling him Pilot, which is a great way of establishing hero agency. Let me not give you a name. Let me give you his agency. Let me give you this way that he explores, which is that he's a pilot. Let me give you that immediately before I give you his name. What's more important is that you get his agency. His agency is that he's an explorer. He's a pilot. So we have immediate action tension with hero agency. So what I'm talking about here, this is the action tension in a line. Someone over the radio is saying, computer says you're too tight. The radio person isn't saying, oh my God, you're such a great pilot, right? That's not action tension. The pilot is saying something tense, and he's talking about action. You're too tight. There's something going wrong here. Computer says you're going in too tight, and don't do that. It's essentially what he's talking about, right? Pilot's saying he's refuting. I got this. That's the tension with the hero agency. So the pilot's saying, no, don't tell me what to do. Computer doesn't tell me what to do. I tell me what to do because I'm a pilot. I know what I'm doing. Right. So this is an immediate response. So we've switched. Notice above, it was hero agency, then action tension. Now we've turned it around. Action tension, hero agency. It's really common that people think that I need to start my script by having my hero speak. Well, what if action tension speaks first? Again, same thing. Happens here. Radio says, crossing the straits, shutting it down. Cooper shutting it all down. Pilot says, no, I need power up. Again, we've furthered action tension with hero agency. So this is the formula. Consider your action lines to be hero agency plus action tension. You consider your dialogue action tension with hero agency. That's our quick bite.